Nigeria, we hail thee, our own dear native land. Though tribe and tongue may differ, in brotherhood we stand. Nigerians old and proud to serve our sovereign motherland. Our flag shall be a symbol that truth and justice reign. In peace or battle honored, and this we count as gain. To hang on to our children a banner without stain. O God of all creation, grant this our one request. Help us to build a nation where no man is oppressed. And so with peace and plenty, Nigeria may be blessed.
I just love that national anthem. The words are just so meaningful. And those were the days when Nigeria really had conscientious leaders. I'm not saying there was no corruption. There is always going to be corruption. But it was corruption with a conscience. That national anthem towards the end talks about a Nigeria where no one is oppressed. I think we can build that Nigeria. Come with me and see how we can. Hello, everybody. Once again, this is Fred Wanko coming to you from our studios in Chicago with another edition of Bull Talk on Island TV. And as usual, I'd like to say good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to you, depending on where you are around the world. In this episode, I'm trying to start rekindling that Nigeria that national anthem sang about. In this episode, I'm going to bring you a project that the governor of your state, Governor Seyi Makinde, is collaborating with some investors to build a major agricultural project in your state that can really bring a lot of employment, but more importantly, spread to other states as they emulate what he's doing in that state. I'm also going to bring you Airpeace and their new route between Nigeria and Gatwick Airport in London, and how their involvement in that route is already reducing the price that other airlines that have been plowing that route have been charging Nigerians. So even before they get into it, weeks before they get into it, Airpeace is already having impact on that route and the airline business in Nigeria and internationally. Then I'm going to conclude with the geometric project in Abia State that's going to power, starting in Abia, initially Abia and the suburbs, and ultimately the entire Abia State. It's going to power them and give them electricity 24/7, 365. These are positive things going on in Nigeria. And these are positive things going on in Nigeria because it seems that finally, maybe it's a coincidence, that the federal government is kind of lessening its stranglehold on investments and investors that are not their favorite investors and investments. But it's good for Nigeria, and it's good for Bold Talk, because now Bold Talk doesn't have to criticize the federal government, but instead give credit to the federal government for the little things they are doing to empower Nigerians.
Milking Ban AgroServe Limited is a company that has been incorporated out of a passion to bridge the gap in the dairy and livestock business. We have also gone into grain production, pasture development, as well as livestock. We're building this farm on 350 hectares of land. We've cultivated 200 hectares for maize, 50 hectares for pasture. Within the farm here, we're also building a 250 animal barn. The idea is to scale up to 1,000 animals, lactating animals. That should give us at least a minimum of 15,000 liters of milk per day.
So 4 of these barns will be built, and the 4 will be catering for over 1,000 cattle that will be producing over 80% or high percentage of the milk that Friesland campaigner will be using. So this is actually quite critical beyond even the maize that has been cultivated. You saw the pasture, the grass that will be developed to A's, and those A's are what we'll be using to feed animals within this place and to sell to other people that are going to be having different ranches within the state as well. Agribusiness for us is the comparative advantage of Oyo State. Our state is built on a landmass that is bigger than Rwanda as a country, but as a state. And in agribusiness, it is not just about the agriculture alone. We also look at infrastructure that support the agricultural development. We are building a livestock industry, we are building the dairy industry, we are developing the agricultural production and the maize aspect. And this is what you are seeing with Milking Ban as a company. So putting your resources in the area where you should put it as a public sector, you will see private sector being driven to that particular place. That is what His Excellency the Governor of Oyo State is doing.
We've had a lot of support from the state government. They've provided an enabling environment for us to be able to thrive. While they provide infrastructure, we are focusing our core business of agribusiness. We have other partners, Friesland Campina. We have IRI, International Livestock Research Institute, IITA, Euros, Alter Genetics for the semens that we use for insemination, Barenburg for the pasture development as well.
Our grains are hybrid, so whatever grains we produce are also high quality.
The big picture is to cultivate 10,000 hectares of land for grains, and also to build capacity for 10,000 lactating animals. And also we're planning to build a bigger barn, a bigger farm on 3,000 hectares of land over the next 7 years.
I hope you can see the beaming smile on my face. The reason you see that smile on my face is I love that I led with that Governor Seyi Makinde project in Oyo State. My eyes are open for positive things out of Nigeria in a way that it brings people together. The milk that comes out of here is not going to discriminate between Igbos and Yorubas and Fulanis. It's going to be good milk that people are going to enjoy. These positive things take us away from negative thoughts and bigotry and take us towards collaboration. Because while that project is in Oyo State, there's something there that if another governor is empowering in Anambra or Abia or Katsina, that is something they can use in that farm. They're going to go there and buy those things. It builds collaboration and not hate. So now, let me go to the next thing I want to talk about, which is the Airpeace Gatwick Lagos project. What Allen Onyema has done in starting this round tripping from Lagos to Gatwick Airport in London is revolutionary. Not only is he getting that to increase how many seats and opportunities Nigerians have to fly between those two cities, but he's coming in and saying, I'm going to reduce the price and make it easier for our people. In the process of doing that, even before he starts, 4 airlines are cutting down the price they've been gouging and taking advantage of Nigerians all these years. British Airways is cutting prices, Ethiopian Airlines, Egypt Airlines, and KLM. That's major. And the reason this is exciting is that if these things keep happening and people like Allen Onyema keeps getting cooperation from whatever ministry is responsible for giving him the clearance to do this, then it's going to give less opportunity for people like me to criticize the Nigerian government and say they are doing things to handicap a certain tribe in Nigeria. So I want to say congratulations to whichever ministry was responsible for getting this thing cleared so that Allen Onyema can get to this. And I want to congratulate Allen Onyema and the entire staff at Airpeace. You've really built an airline that is one Nigerians can be proud of. And you're setting the pace for other people in the industry to try and do better than you. I want them to do better than you, because if they do better than Airpeace, it means that Nigeria is getting excellent aviation, whether it's service, prices, and all that. So that's a good thing. And now this takes me to the third segment of what I want to talk about today, which is the geometric power plant in Abia State, specifically in Abia, that is going to supply 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year power supply to that region, and how that is going to affect the neighboring states and ultimately the entire country. Let's take a look at what they've done in Abia.
I'm very pleased. Actually, I've been asking him almost every time, when are we going to commission? When will it be commissioned? And it's come true, you know, so I'm very excited. I'm very happy, and I'm very happy for the people of Abia State and for the Southeast.
So I'm happy that today the problem has been solved, information available to me is that gas had started flowing from Owaza to the plant. About 15 MVA substations have been built by Geometric. About 14 kilometer or 24 kilometer power line have been raised by Geometric also. So all is set for Abia to be powered.
I feel on top of the world because we set out to provide reliable electricity for the people of Abia.
I'm finding it hard to find the words to express how I feel. I'm excited that the day has finally come where what we have been promising in Abia has come true. That is, that we'll be able to give them reliable and affordable power so that they can focus on doing their business with lower operational costs.
The first phase consists of 3 gas turbines. You have a location for the 4th gas turbine, take up the full output to 188 megawatts. And as time goes on, we'll expand to meet the power demands within our barren fence and even export power into the national grid.
The much anticipated era of optimal and reliable electricity production and distribution in and around one of Nigeria's leading industrial cities, Abia, in Abia State, Nigeria, is finally here.
I consider it appropriate to acknowledge the efforts of former Governor Otti who gave the initial waivers to Geometric, thereby partially de-risking the transaction. If those waivers were not in place, I'm not too sure that as a banker, I would have touched it. And now, as the governor of this state, I consider the Geometric Integrated Power Project to be very special and dear to my heart because of the immense potential it holds for the economic and social rejuvenation of Abia as a preferred destination for enterprise growth, family, life, and leisure.
And today in Abia, we saw testimony to good leadership. I saw the outpouring of emotion, of love and support for Dr. Alex Otti. I was privileged to commission the Hospital Road, the Jubilee Road, and the Emoba Road on behalf of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Your Excellency, posterity will be very kind to you. Keep the flag flying, keep up the good works. Long live Geometric Power Services. Long live Aviation. Thank you and God bless you.
That really touched me, knowing the deprivation that region of Nigeria has gone through over the last 50 years. I can't help but to say that to be Nigerians and embrace each other, Nigerians whose regions have benefited from infrastructure over the last 50 years really need to walk in the shoes of Nigerians whose region has not benefited. But before I come back and conclude with the geometric project, let me just play you this little sound bite. And I think I'm playing it on behalf of every Southeasterner, considering how deprived that region has been over the last 50 plus years.
If you have not walked in my shoes, you have no say in my world. My ways are not your ways, and your ways cannot be mine. So please do not try to change me, because I have no reason to ask you to change, for I love you anyway. We are all God's children, so why can't we relate, love our difference, exterminate our ignorance that is killing us, and bring flavor into this beautiful world?
We have problems in our country, and many people are praying and waiting for God to do something. I just wonder if maybe God isn't waiting for us to do something. Oh, yes.
I too wonder if God is now wondering what President Reagan just said in that short clip. But this geometric project in Abia State cannot be concluded on if credit doesn't go to people who you heard, but I want to emphasize, I've been very critical of Otti Uzokalo. And as you guys heard, it was during his tenure as governor that he added the government muscle to the idea that made it possible for Bart Nnaji to be able to go to a bank and even have his application looked at for funding. And the funding started on the back of the support the government of Abia State under Otti Uzokalo gave. So that's one thing Otti Uzokalo did right. Then Governor Ikpeazu, who just left, it wasn't mentioned here, but in an article I read about this project, it also stated that Governor Ikpeazu gave every clearance that came his way to keep this going, because this is a project that took about 20 years, and any obstacle in between may have killed it. And to the federal government, which gave every clearance and tried not to be an obstacle, I think Southeasterners really appreciate this and hope that Vice President Shetima's presence at this ceremony was not just a photo opportunity and lip service. I hope this is only the beginning of a project that touches the federal government enough to see that this region itches for projects like this. This project, believe it or not, should give other Nigerians the understanding of what we've gone through. If you can realize that this is the first major project that has been completed in the Southeast in 54 years, the first major project of significance that can build the economy of the region and start making it competitive as it is in other parts of the country. It should make you understand when people like me keep hounding and complaining about marginalization of that region. It's not because I'm just saying marginalization. The region is marginalized, but this gives us hope. And this episode and this hope cannot be complete if I don't appeal to everybody who has the ear of the federal government, who has the ear of President Tinubu, that this ceremony took place in Abia State, the home state of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. And Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is being illegally and unfairly held by the government of Nigeria. It will be a good gesture to Southeasterners and to Abia State especially if President Bola Ahmed Tinubu will lend his voice and his authority to whoever is responsible to open that door and let Nnamdi Kanu go home. And on that note, once again, I want to say that this is Fred Nwankwo coming to you from our studios in Chicago with another edition of Bold Talk on Allen TV. And until next time, good night and God bless.
This is a song for the new year and every day. I want you to sing it every day. It's a declaration. Búburú kan kò ní ṣubú lù mí. Àrùn kárùn kankan kò ní súnmọ́ ilé mi. Ìròyìn ayọ̀ létí mi yóò máa gbọ́. Lórúkọ Jésù, ire lójú mi yóò máa rí. Búburú kan kò ní ṣubú lù mí. Àrùn kárùn kankan kò ní súnmọ́ ilé mi. Ìròyìn ayọ̀ létí mi yóò máa gbọ́. Lórúkọ Jésù, ire lójú mi yóò máa rí. Bí mo bá jáde, ire ni tèmi. Bí mo bá padà wọlé, ire ni tèmi. Báwọn ọmọ mi bá jáde, ire ni tiwọn. Búburú kankan kò ní yà lọ dẹ̀dẹ̀ mi. Torí pé búburú kan kò ní ṣubú.